Hi, everybody. Brian here, quantlabs.net. DVD, really good, $10. This will get you introduced to the world of algo trading very simply with MotiveWave. All right, so let's go on over to the other fun stuff. So for those that may not know, I have a set of books here you can get over at quantlabs.net/book. For that, you can easily start learning some of the software I use. Also, I do have that DVD that I just showed you, where you can get that here. You can get a web edition as well. And lastly, we have our new store up, quantlabs.net, quantlabs.shop. All right. So you're probably wondering, what about these limitations with technology? I don't know where to begin. Let me pull up my Instagram here. That's probably a good place to start. At the beginning of the year, I'm going to say I was really excited to be on the new Windows version of version 10. And it seemed to work really well. Just give me a second here. And it seemed to be pretty stable. So I went all in. I had 3 computers here. I went all in with Windows. And before you know it, we had a problem. And, you know, I read a story about, I don't know what's up with my type in here, but I'm just trying to bring up my page. Okay, here we go. So let me pull up the page here. So everything started all tickety-boo, and then this started happening, okay? This was what I saw on my Windows system, okay? Now, when you look at that, you go, what's going on? I let it run for about half an hour, okay? And it didn't get cleared up. So I was not a happy camper. Then I turned off the computer and it went into this mode, okay? And that ran for about an hour. And then we started getting this problem. Let's just pull it up here. And this is what really pisses me off. So we go into this automatic repair business, tries to do an attempt on the repair, couldn't repair it. So my system was virtually screwed over thanks to Windows. And that has scared me because I don't want to build a trading system, build a life around it, and then that happens with Windows. So I've had numerous problems with Windows, whatever version. I have one system on Windows that seems to be pretty stable. Not the best performance, but it runs. So I leave that system as is. But the 2 other systems that I'm trying to get moved over, it's going to be Linux or Mac. So that is a huge reason why I find Microsoft Windows very limiting. I tried not to use any of the .NET technologies like C# or any of those languages anymore because even Microsoft seems to be giving up on them. Give me a second here. Next up, we have problems of Excel. Excel is fine. Thinkorswim is fine. MotiveWave is fine. But here's what I was trying to do. I got some awesome strategies on ideas on stocks, futures, options, somewhat. 2 different systems, 2 different purposes. Why don't we put them together? So I came up with the idea of like, one is using Excel, communicating real time with Thinkorswim. That capability is only on Windows. Out goes that option because of what I just showed you on the Windows. So Thinkorswim does run on Linux and Mac, but you can't do the real-time export to an Excel spreadsheet. That's a pretty nice feature of Windows. But if your system dies like this, you're screwed. And you can do backups and all that, but long-term, it's just not for me. I've dealt with my Windows problems for years, and I know a lot of people are okay with it, and that's fine. That's their business. So as that option came around, I decided to start looking at other options. So Thinkorswim I like as a platform. I think some of the scanning features out of box is really powerful. I do like that ability to do real-time Excel real time through the RTD real time data to Excel. I think that's awesome. And then you could do the gainers, which I really like. Most trading gurus, you do use that. And that is something that really appealed to me as part of this strategy, because in the Excel side, there's lots of formulas going on. So that is a requirement. So I thought maybe there's got to be a way to bring the data out of Thinkorswim into the Excel so it can do its number crunching. Plus the other problem, Thinkorswim, the other strategy I'm using for Thinkorswim, there's some custom built data in there that I like, that I was fortunate enough to get source code for, thanks to some of these folks, and then be able to kind of figure out how to build these two strategies together and two systems together. And, you know, to be able to try to port that into a Mac or even a Linux environment is probably could be done, but here's the problem with Thinkorswim. Thinkorswim's tied to a broker. Okay, Thinkorswim is a pretty big broker, but I've also dealt with many over the years. A lot of people that find Thinkorswim fairly limited in terms of options, and just doing things that you cannot do with an interactive brokers. I do get a lot of people complain about the interactive brokers. TWS, Trader Workstation, has its limits. And people don't like it. I get that. And that's why it's really built for third-party software like MotiveWave, which probably that combination, interactive brokers with MotiveWave as a platform, is probably your best option. So interactive brokers, I'm really wanting to focus on because you probably maybe watched a video I had on basically you have traders in the US, they have this pattern day trading rule. So they cannot really do any kind of algorithmic trading or limited trading per week. I mean, it's ridiculous. And they call themselves the freest country in the world, and they're controlled by lobbyists. So because of that, what I thought a few weeks ago was maybe it'd be better if those folks could have an ability to be able to go international, take the same strategies that they want to take or learn from online, and be able to apply them to other markets. And there's another advantage to that is we're on a catalyst of the markets going down, and it's going to go down hard. And will it come back and get the kind of returns that we're getting? Probably not. And I say that because of this new virus coming out of China and all that stuff. And there's going to be other catalysts as well. They're just all being lined up where there's going to be so many negative forces against the overall stock market. Now, if you've gone through my analysis videos, like even yesterday, last few days, a lot of the safety is really in agriculture. Don't ask me why, but that's where it's at. So when you're using something like Thinkorswim, I don't know what the limitations of Thinkorswim when it focuses on agriculture products. But let's say if I want to take them international, how's Thinkorswim going to handle that? That's why I like interactive brokers, because I know it's a true global broker. So the thing is, there's that. So we've talked about Thinkorswim. We've talked about Windows as being a limitation. Nothing wrong with Excel, but I mean, it's Excel. Like, let's get real. The other thing is, I mentioned in this video, MotiveWave. MotiveWave is easily the number one trading platform on the planet outside of Deltix. Now, if you have 15 grand a month, go with Deltix. But we're retail traders. We don't have $15,000 a month. But number two platform in my mind, with how it's opened up, is MotiveWave, and I will stick to probably until the day I die on MotiveWave. I love MotiveWave, but there's a very serious limitation with it for traders like me, and there's probably representing a big world out there of MotiveWave traders. It's momentum-based traders. You get most of the leading gurus. What they do is they will go in. They'll do their pre-market analysis on small stocks under 10 bucks, microcaps, whatever. And they'll do an analysis, and they want to have the ability to do all this in an automated way. Meaning you get the analysis done at a microcap level on the pre-market, after-market, do all your number crunching with that data, and then be able to pre-select that a certain stocks, microcaps that meet those certain criteria. Now, I don't think, from what I'm seeing with MotiveWave, that can be. I mean, it can be done, but it's only with a pre-selected number of stocks. Because of that, it's a problem to be able to run a scan on stocks and then be able to just focus on, let's say, the top 10, top 25 of those stocks. Run it through pre-screening and then add it to a watch list, or even open a chart, apply your studies, we'll call them, or indicators, and then set it up for the trades and let the thing run in the background and let your algorithms or automated strategies work. The problem here with MotiveWave is I don't know of any really valid solutions here. If I have 20,000 or 10,000 stocks preloaded into my MotiveWave, and keeping up with that is difficult in itself because you know how microcaps come and go, they're dropping off, and there's new ones getting listed all the time. So to maintain that is not possible. So the problem is if I have an external process, be it an Excel spreadsheet that says, get in on this particular stock, and I send that message over to MotiveWave, it can't do it because MotiveWave, you have to predefine the stock or the instrument that you're interested in, open up the chart, and then apply your template of studies or indicators. So because of that, that's not possible. I just got confirmation from the support team on this that is not possible. So that takes away the limitation of being able to do exactly. You get pre-market analysis, a predefined set of stocks that you want that meet certain criteria, and then put it in a bunch of charts, put on a watch and start watching it. But the only way you can do it with MotiveWave is you have to set those up manually every day, every market session, pre-market before the market opens up. And that's going to be a real pain. So it's not real automation in any way. And it's not helpful as well when you're trying to do this across multiple regions, like multiple markets in the world. So that's kind of a no-go for me, at least. If anyone else has any better ideas on this, let me know. So this is what I'm looking at what I'm going to do. MotiveWave still stays on the table. Excel, I don't know if it's very useful for me, as is for this type of strategy trading idea. I don't know if being on Windows is an advantage. I don't think it is, with what I just showed you on Instagram here, with what I went through. And really, Mac or Linux is where I want to be as an operating system. It's a lot more stable, and it's just a lot more solid as an OS. So as a result, here's what I'm going to do. For those that don't know, go on to my YouTube playlist at Quant Labs and look up video playlist for IKFeed. IKFeed is probably the best data provider out there. You get global access. You can get anything you want as long as you're willing to pay for it. It could be Forex, futures, options, stock anywhere in the world, Forex. I mean, it's huge, and it's real-time data. It's not like what they do at Interactive Brokers, where they'll send a bunch of ticks, collect a bunch of ticks, and then aggregate it, and then send it out after 10, 20 seconds. That's how Interactive Brokers works for the data. So what you need a really real-time tick processing, because when you're dealing on these type of strategies for microcaps on early morning or early session breakouts, you got to have pretty well, at least probably, if you can, tick data, real-time tick data. There you go, real-time tick data. That's where IKFeed really comes in. So knowing that, you can trade that. And as I talked about, as well as the Interactive Brokers, as being the best broker for international, that's the plan. Is go IKFeed as the market data for tick data, and then use Interactive Brokers as the broker for pretty well universal, let's put it that way. The thing is with Interactive Brokers, and a lot of people will say this, they complain about Interactive Brokers, the software, okay? Because you have to understand from retail trading point of view, Interactive was not designed for retail traders. It was designed for really developers. You know, it's got probably the best API out there to support Python, C Sharp, Java, C++ out of the box. And the same thing can be said for IQFeed as well. So it's a good combination. Now, as I said, when you bring in all these different pieces of Excel and Thinkorswim and try to do it in MotiveWave, it gets really cumbersome. It really pigeonholes you pretty well to only Windows, which there, I'll just show this to you again. You will get this problem on Windows at some point. And if it ain't going to be that, it's going to kill you. If it ain't going to be that, it ain't going to kill you. It'll be a virus or something. It just seems that Windows is always under attack. So I don't want to be on Windows. As I said, if you're going to build a trading system, okay, you don't want to spend half your time trying to update this stupid thing or patch it or worry about viruses and remote access, all this stupid crap that comes with Windows. At least with Linux, it's a little more secure. Okay, so knowing that, that takes away out a lot. So it really limits you. But here's the thing. Interactive Brokers has always worked on Linux. IQFeed does not really work on Linux at all. They say it can, but because of MotiveWave, that's how I came to MotiveWave, through IQFeed on Mac. So that works. So I think if you're going to stay on Mac, you're good. I'm not a fan of that, but I've been on Mac and I had zero problems with the OS when it comes to this kind of crap. Okay. I've not had that problem with Macs, and I've had problems with Linux, surprisingly, where I've gone through 3 or 4 drives on Linux and their recovery is just horrendous. But Macs just seem to be built for whatever. They just seem to be built right. So that might be the preferred OS that I stay on, even though it's pricey. And I just look at pricey as a form of insurance for protecting my trading environment. Because you got to remember, if you're building a trading environment and a full-on trading system, it has to be rigid. It has to be bulletproof. Okay, Mac seems to be the only OS that enables that. Linux, not so much as I've experienced with any of the distros. But Windows, forget it. It's just this trash with these kind of problems. I'm just showing you, like here, automatic repair that fails. Okay, so I don't want to be on that as an option. So again, going back to Interactive Brokers, it covers Java as a connection to an API. IQFeed does as well. So Java is the language. So with all these technologies between Excel, TOS, Thinkorswim, and what's the other one? MotiveWave. MotiveWave I'll still be using. Don't get me wrong. But when you build everything in one app, it makes life a lot easier. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring in the data using Java with IQFeed because I got the Java API. I have that. Also, Interactive Brokers. We know we can build things with Interactive Brokers in Java. So with this strategy, my only hindrance now is to take all of the formulas in Excel, all the formulas in Thinkorswim, and then merge them and basically hand code them and convert them and transform them into Java. So that's what I'm going to do. I think that's the smartest way long-term for rigidity in an operating system, in a trading environment without this coming hard on Windows, without this garbage crap. Okay. So knowing that, that's priority number one. And then Java, it's good because it's universal, right? Once deploy anywhere. You can't do that with Windows or Windows technologies like .NET and whatnot. The other thing, the important part is your broker as well, because I don't want to be pigeonholed a broker. You can easily get pigeonholed on Thinkorswim. There's no doubt on that. Because as I said, with the PDT rule, pattern day trading rule, that limits traders that are under 25K. And there's a lot of them out there, believe me. So being on Java, being able to have one app, one program, one, what do you want to call it? Being able to read in real-time tick data in Java with IQFeed and do the execution in the same program or app with Interactive Brokers. That's the way I'm going, and looking at the hand-coded strategies as well to convert them over. That's the easiest and long-term way to do it. And being able to host this is much easier on a remote server as well. And it'll be sort of secure through the Linux environment. That's pretty well what I'm looking at as a development stack. Okay, so I just wanted to put that out there and let people know why and the struggles that you can go through as a developer and hopefully, I'm hoping to see MotiveWave fix that kind of limitation for momentum-based breakout type of traders, because majority of traders are that. They don't just sit around and develop a little strategy that will focus on gold, oil only. A lot of traders want breakout strategies. And I think that limitation with MotiveWave would have to be revisited, and some kind of solution just to be able. And from an architecture standpoint, I don't think it would be very difficult, because all you're doing is you're taking requests from somewhere externally outside of MotiveWave and just have a template of some kind and just be able to open up a chart with all the everything ready to go, like your strategy. If it's a strategy, just open it up with the associated strategy. And that's not a really tough job to do, I would think, from a programming standpoint. But who am I? I don't know the platform. But that's pretty well it. If there's no comments or questions, let me know. I'll wait it out for 2 minutes, because I got to go too. I want to start building this thing, but I just wanted to record this as a live stream, just to tell you some of the struggles you'll find as with what I just explained. Because you don't want to run into this. This is brutal. Okay, you don't want to have to go through this diagnosing your PC. I let that run for an hour or half an hour, but this is the worst one. Okay, that's Microsoft Windows. That's Microsoft Windows today. I'm very good at breaking things. I'm really good at breaking stuff. Microsoft can't handle it. I can break Linux. It's not hard to do. But when it comes to Mac OS, can be done. It recovers nice, and it's pretty nice OS operating system to do a lot of things with. And I haven't really been limited outside of not being able to run some of the Windows stuff that I want. But I think over time, there are workarounds with that, especially if I go into Mac. So we'll see what happens. I guess there's no questions, so we'll leave it at that. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you got something out of this, but it's important topics so people know what to expect. Okay, so if you like this, folks, get this DVD. It's only $10. I mean, come on, like, give me a break. Also, we've got that quantlabs.net DVD. We've got the book. Really, it's beyond, it's cheaper than a pop or a Coke. And then, as I said, we're going to talk about this sort of stuff on my next webinar on Monday, 12 noon. Monday, we do this every week. Some of these options, and I might be far into it, just be able to talk about the technology. If people want to ask about the strategy ideas that I'm coming up with, please don't do that. These are proprietary secret sauce stuff. And I've gotten, I hate to say it, idiots, like friggin' morons that go out and say, "Hey, I have a strategy and I need to get it done. Can you do it for me?" I had one guy asking me for HFT strategies, HFT, high frequency trading strategies, just like that. I didn't even know him. Thing is, why don't you go ask a two Sigma or a Renaissance, see what they say when you do that. It's I don't know, but we don't do that here. All right, anyway, so we're gonna leave it at that. But I thought I'd just put this out there so you could mull over it, whatever. But we'll leave it at that. Thanks for watching, and yeah, I'm sure a lot of you are struggling out there with this stuff, judging by the number of people coming in. All right, I'm not getting any questions or comments, so we'll leave it at that. Thanks for watching.